Is that? I'm guessing that's the Celtics pick.
Yeah, 21-22.
That would be pretty interesting. That's all I'll say about that.
Austin and Milwaukee has two small guards, Jennings and Monte, and they might be looking for size in the backcourt. So, like you say, there's teams that have fits.
Yeah, there are teams that have fits. I think there's just. I mean, every team has someone that fits better. Every team fits certain players better. I'm actually really close with Brandon Jennings. I think he's actually coming down today to hang out. So
yeah, he's in Milwaukee today.
Yeah. I think he might fly down here.
See you.
Yeah. So he's a great player and a rising player is Monte as well. So yeah, it just depends what situation you're in. Fits better.
How do you think it would be a fit with you with Brandon? I mean, he's really improved in his 3 years here.
Yeah, Brandon Knight's. You talking about Brandon? Brandon Jennings. Oh, okay. Brandon Jennings has been unbelievable. I mean, I just think he's taken steps and steps and steps, and people have criticized him, and he's just dealt with it, and he's keep getting better. And I think that I have a lot of respect for that, just because what he's gone through, and he went a hard route. He went overseas. He was a pro right out of high school. So I have a lot of respect for Brandon as a player and as a person. And he's gotten a lot better, and I'm excited to play against him next year or play with him.
Right.
And because he's a heck of a player.
Any chance you work out for someone as low as 18 in Minnesota?
I'm going to let David decide that just because he knows what's best. That's a reason I really went with David. He's not just an agent. He's been through this a million times, and I truly do trust his judgment, so that's what I'm going to go with.
How are you preparing for this grind that's about to begin with all these workouts?
Well, I think you got to stay in shape, you got to stay hungry, and you got to stay working out. And that's what I've been. I've been working out a lot. I've stayed on the treadmill, just trying to keep in decent shape, and that way I can kill these workouts, and that way the transition might be a little bit more easier. And that's really it, man. I just think you don't put too much into it. You just go out there and you work hard, and you play the game I've been playing my whole life, and it's that simple.
Do you feel like there's things you're having to perceptions you're having to chip away at during this process?
Yeah, everybody has their own perceptions of everybody. I don't know what people say. People are going to say all types of stuff. That's their job.
Forget people, but teams.
Teams, same thing. I mean, teams at the end of the day, they hear from people, or they hear this, or they think they see this, or that's their job. And I think that's why the interview process is so important, because you get to see them eye to eye, and that's when they know truly who you are as a person. More than just a player, and that's where all that stuff changes or it stays on. So that's why it's important just to be real, and that's why these whole interview process, I'm just going to be me and be straight up honest with them of who I am and what I'm looking for, and I think they've all gone well right now.
Is there any part of your dad yesterday that said, I just asked him in a conference call, I said, how do you see yourself as similar and different from Austin? And he went off on a bit of a tangent. He said, I laugh so hard when I hear people calling him cocky. He said, LeBron not cocky? Is Dwayne not cocky? He said, who is good at this who isn't cocky?
Yeah, that's a perception that I get. That's perception I get is people say I'm cocky. I think all great players are cocky. You have to be. You have to have an ego. It's just making sure it's a healthy ego. You don't want to have an arrogance or a cockiness or ego that affects the team. That's something I've never had. Every team that I've played for, we've always won, and that's just because, and I'm not saying it's because of me, I'm just saying my ego or my confidence is always rubbed off on other people in a positive way, where I give confidence to other players, and I try to help other players and just give them confidence. And on the court, I'm just confident in myself and my team. I feel like we could do anything. I think that's a mindset you got to have.
In regard to that, he said, he said, I've obviously been there the whole way. He's never had a coach who didn't love him being on their team.
No, I'm coachable. At the end of the day, the coaches that coach me have been in the game longer than I have. They're older than me. They've been through this, so I feel like they know more. Obviously, Coach K knows what he's talking about. I let him teach me everything. I learned from him. I try to soak up everything he said. And then at the next level, I'm going to be coached by an NBA coach who obviously knows what he's doing. Despite whatever record they have, they know what they're doing. So it's that simple. I just learn, and I try to observe what they say and put it in my game and help the team.
You said it would be interesting if you fell to 21. Can you elaborate on that?
Oh, yeah, just because, it's a father-son relationship, and then it turns father-son and also coach-player. So it would just be an interesting balance of how we'd have to balance that out. I don't know if anybody's done that before seriously, where it's been a serious thing, so I just don't know how that would work. I think
You
it could
guys
work.
had that conversation where
Yeah,
you-
and I think we could work just because of how serious the game my dad takes and how serious I take it. We both love the game of basketball, and it's like something. It's like our livelihood, to tell you the truth. So I think outside the lines, you just have to be normal, and then inside the lines, you have to understand it's nothing personal. It's just that's their job, and that's what it is.
But you don't think that's going to happen? You fall down that.
I don't think it'll happen, but if it happens, it happens. Like I said, I have no control over where I go. At the end of the day, I'm just going to play as hard as I can, and whatever team I go to, I'm going to work my butt off for that team.